in to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucius, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde, and the governor. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Athletics LLC. Another fun episode, another week in the books. We've got 6 titles tonight, so we'll save the guest for last to introduce him. But Sir Lucius, how are you doing this evening?
I am rolling. I'm sitting here waiting for the hurricane to show up. I'm good.
Oh my gosh. I still don't know how. I guess it's like California earthquakes. They're there.
I mean, the number of calls, texts, a couple emails. You okay? I'm fine. Hey, I'm not like I'm playing in it, right?
Well, wait, hold on. If the hurricane was an actual thing, you wouldn't have gotten those messages.
Pardon me?
I said, if the hurricane wasn't a thing, you wouldn't have gotten those messages. So those are like empty, not empty.
Yeah, but they're empty because I've been doing this for 47 years.
No, but her point is, okay, if you were stuck in the hurricane, right, those calls and texts wouldn't have got to you in the first place.
So like
that's her point.
Too late. Okay. Yeah, too late. But anyways, thanks for the thoughts. I hope you are safe and everybody.
I appreciate everybody worrying about me, but we're good. We happen to live in an area where we don't really get a big effect of it, So we get just kind of the outer bands of wind and rain, and I think we got a third of an inch today, and tomorrow's the big day. We're expecting 4¼ inches, and then we're a third of an inch the next day, and we're back to business on Monday as usual.
There you go. There you go.
Palace will not be penetrated by hurricane.
No, it will not.
Can we use a different word?
Golden bubble.
Clyde, how are you today? You just used the word penetrate.
I'm good. I'm in Cali. We don't have no hurricane.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
earthquake.
Brother, the last earthquake of consequence, there's been like 2 in my lifetime.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Governor, how are you tonight, sir?
Can't complain. It's Wednesday and it feels like Friday. So
I was going to say, you sure it's Wednesday? You are.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks,
It's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, I would say you're almost there to a day off, but I'm sure that's not coming anytime soon. So best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you.
Lamar from Wakanda. I wonder where we're going with this.
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell everybody, go see The Woman King. It's an amazing movie. Second of all, when you go see The Woman King, there will be a trailer for the next what's wrong with me? The next Black Panther. And you'll be ready to go.
Good stuff. Well, this evening we are graced by the presence of, someone who might be considered fast, maybe on some days not. It depends on who you're talking to. But Mr. Marvin Bracey, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you today?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
I am so proud of you.
That was good, right?
Finally being suspect with someone besides me. I appreciate that.
I try. Yeah, FYI, you're on the hot seat tonight. So go ahead and get ready for that one.
Well, I knew this last week, so
I know. Well, so, as we do with most guests, Marvin, you're on, and we're gonna throw you some baseballs and see if you can hit them.
Okay. I'm sure what I got.
Wait, shouldn't we have changed Marvin's name to Fugazi Time Trialer just for the show?
I swear to God, I was waiting for that to come up. I swear to God.
There's no universe.
And so since we brought that up,
right?
I want to know why you came at my neck up on Twitter. I had nothing to do with it.
No, okay. So me and Greg talked about this back in Budapest. And basically what you said, I just took it in a different context, in the sense that you said Marvin Bracey didn't make the final, so he's not in the conversation. I took that as like you were saying like, because so somebody that doesn't know what happened would think that I ran trash and I didn't make the final. You didn't say, well, he got hurt, so we're not even talking about that. So I was like, damn, he's saying in the conversation. Okay, well, watch this. So I just took it differently than you said.
So like most people your age, you just responded without having all the information. What you did.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. All right. Because clearly the conversation wasn't even about the USA meet.
Right. So also you gotta realize that like when I got the clip, somebody sent me like basically a 30-second clip. So when I went back and watched the whole thing, like from the like 3 minutes before and 3 minutes after, obviously I got a different context. But when I wake up on a random Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning, and you know I'm getting insulted, I'm like, God damn, like I don't be bothered.
Okay, so all right, so my only question here is, you and I have history, right?
Yes, sir.
Other than this Gator Seminole crap, we're good, right? Okay, so why not get an apology? That's all I'm
He said 12
months
months later.
Right. Exactly,
Now,
12 months later.
Well, I thought it was funny in Budapest. Everybody was looking at me and Marvin like, "Wait a minute, y'all are friends? Y'all get along?"
So I want to.
You and Wakanda are good though, right?
Right. No, but this should be said. And personally, we get a little loose around here from time to time. Things are thrown out. I thought that was a gratuitous shot at the time, but I'm usually the one that's the petty person, right? So we both appreciated the EP for his petty moment of Fugazi Time Trialer, but not nearly as much as the response from your season.
Yes.
Because if there's ever been, an instant track and field clapback from this show, it is you getting the silver medal at Worlds this year. Yeah. So, brother, congratulations.
Absolutely.
We are all fans of yours well before that ever happened. And so I loved every moment of it. And anytime we can tease the EP on the back end.
Oh, no. And listen, let me tell you something. I told him to his face. I said, listen, because I know, look, there's a backstory to it. Like he called Ramon as like, because he didn't know who I was. He's like, who is this dude? Right. Ramon's like, well, first of all, I'm going to need you to crack a book. Like, right. He's not a nobody. He's like, second of all, like here, watch the whole thing. Right. So when me and Marvin actually met, it was a conversation. It wasn't an argument whatsoever. And I was like, look, man.
Hold on just 1 second, please. Hold on a second. Chew. I'm going to need you to treat him like you treat your children. It's Marvin and I. Okay. Proceed.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Anyway. Yeah, so like it was funny because we were just having a conversation about it, right? And I was like, listen, you can ask Miles. Like, I've been a fan of yours for a long time.
No, speaking of that,
speaking facts is always facts.
We sit in, so actually backstory on that. So we at World Indoors out in Serbia. So again, I don't know what he looks like. So I think who was my roommate? Donald Scott. He came downstairs and went to the dinner table or breakfast table, whatever it was. So I came down like 20 minutes behind him and I was looking for him and I couldn't see him. So actually Chris was like, hey, he's sitting right here. You looking for Scott, right? I'm like, yeah. So I sit down and I'm sitting next to him. Whole time I don't know who I'm sitting next to. And I think I had on headphones at first and I heard him talk and I was like, why the fuck he sound familiar?
I love it. That's hilarious.
I'm sitting next to him like, why this voice it sounds so distinct. Why do I know that voice? And then I look at his thing, I look at his little credential and I see his name. And I sat there quiet for about 20 minutes. I was just like
heated.
But the beauty of that story is, how many times did you listen to it to know what his voice sounded?
I was just gonna say.
That's the beauty of it right there. That's the beauty of it right there.
Love it.
But Clyde made the best point. I mean, what a clapback, man. Phenomenal year.
Dude, I watched it every day. I swear to God, I watched it every day for about a good month. Until I was just like, all right, I got about a month. I watched it every day, like, all right, don't worry.
Wow.
So we know how to get you going now, don't we?
I mean, and basically on Twitter, you had ride or dies for you. They was like instantaneous.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, like Lamar might not want to be in the streets by himself for a good
Folks is
minute.
like, what are you gonna do when I see Marvin? I said, what you mean, what am I gonna do?
Mhm.
I mean, are we squaring up? I mean, if that is what it is, but I
Nah,
was like, what are we talking about?
honestly, I mean, I really did take it as a personal challenge because I mean, we're all, you know, we're no strangers to what my careers look like. So for me, you know, so it was more so about proving myself than it was for anybody else. You know, obviously, you know, I didn't realize that until I got into professional track and field that people really don't put a lot of value in indoors. So I had a lot of all of my success. Most of my success came from indoors. So
Mhm.
it was like it was time to get over that hump and, you know, get outside and try to get a title.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this. Are we diving in? Are we gonna?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Face first, go.
So while we were setting up, I decided to go look at some numbers.
Oh,
And-
of course you did. Of
Oh
course
boy.
you did.
And I've got to say, what's there are a couple of things that stand out. I mean, so I'm gonna throw this out. So 13-10-09, 14-08, 15-993, 16-994, 17. So we go to 17-1039, 2020, 1031, 21-985, 22-985, right? And so you look at between 2017 and 2020, right? Take us into that world that you're in right now at that point. And what is it that led you to come back home, shall we say, and to where you're at now?
So I was 17. I had well at the end of 16, I had I needed a hernia repair surgery, and I knew it, but you know I didn't announce it because I was in the final year of my deal with Adidas, and I was trying to secure another deal before I had to announce the fact that I'm probably not gonna make the team this year. So
Mhm.
you know, it's just trying to play the game. You know, it's playing chess. So because if I don't say nothing about the injury, you know, at least I get all my money. I'm due for a new contract anyway, and I felt like at the time I had made what I had ran 6'4" indoors. I had made the Olympic team in 100. I had ran 9 seconds 4 or 5 times legally. So I felt like, you know, I had somewhat proven myself.
Yeah.
And so Adidas came back and was like, hey man, we're gonna keep you to an option year. And I was like, I don't want an option year because I know what's gonna come out the back end of that. I'm not gonna make the team.
Right.
I'm not gonna run fast. Y'all gonna give me basically pennies on the dollar when y'all pay me, you know, handsomely. So I was like, you know what? I can get more money than this on somebody's practice squad. So I had made up my mind at the end of 2016 that I was leaving. And I did I ended up doing a rookie mini camp with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints, which one of the doctors told me, like, yeah, bro, I think you need to just shut it down and go get your hernia repair surgery because you ain't got no mobility.
Right.
So I get the surgery May 31st of 2017. And then 5 weeks out of my surgery, the Cowboys called me, like, hey, want to fly you out to California, try you out, whatever. I go out there. I ran like 4:45 and a 40. And I'm a track guy. They want to see me run something stupid. Didn't sign me. Like a week later, Indianapolis calls me, brings me in. I run, had a good workout. They signed me on the spot. I was there for about a month and a half doing the training camp and stuff. And at the end of the training camp, they cut me. So I was like, okay, I know what the NFL training camp looks like. So I know kind of how to prepare myself, you know. So the very next year, I try for Seattle. I make the team. I go in, you know, I'm on and off the squad. Training cut day comes, I get cut. I'm like, all right, man. And then at the time I had my son. So I was like, you know what? I got one more in me. I got one more shot. And if it don't work out, I'm going back. 2019 rolls around and they started this whole new league called the AAF. First game of the season, first punt return, I drop it on national TV, run up to get it, and I run into somebody and they broke my arm.
Oh wow.
Just on some crazy stuff, like just broke my arm. And so I come back, I was out 6 weeks. I come back week 7, like, okay, this is my big break. Like I've weathered the storm. This is where you persevere. We're going out to practice. They call us back in the locker room and tell us that the league has folded. There's no more money. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, nah, not like this. So I was like, all right, that's my sign if there ever was one. So end of 2019, I come back to track. You know, I called Ramon Regis, I called Coach Brahman, shout out to Lance Brahman. And I told him I was coming back. You know, Brahman welcomed me back with open arms. I was training there for a little bit until indoors, came out to USA's. I ran 6:49. I got second behind Christian. He had ran, I think 6:37 or something like that. But you
Mhm.
remember the World Indoors that it just moved again. It got moved. And then Nike ended up giving me the call. But it was like, obviously you got to change coaches. And, you know, I was battling with that. And then ultimately I ended up here
Mhm.
in Jacksonville with Raina. So now we at 2020. You know, COVID hits, all the meets get canceled, everything. But Dennis decided to put something together down in Claremont.
Right.
And I go down, and I knew I wasn't feeling right, but I ain't the type. I don't like to make excuses. I was like, maybe it's just some pre-race jitters. I don't know. I ran 10:31. I was like, all right, yeah, I definitely ain't feeling right. Go back Monday, you know, go back to the drawing boards, figure it out. I did not make it to practice Monday. I ended up going to the hospital, and I had an appendectomy because my appendix ruptured. So like I said, I knew something wasn't right, but I still went up there and ran anyway.
Mhm.
Spent like 5 or 6 days in the hospital, get out. I was home for 2 days, went back to the hospital, and I ended up having, I spent 3.5 weeks in the hospital. I had a blockage in my lower intestine. So they had to like cut me open, take it out, you know,
Goodness.
staple me back together. I was in there for about 3.5 weeks. Had like drains in my hip and like everything. And I wasn't really like back right again till like September of 2020. And it was funny because I text Raina like, yo, you know, I'm back on my feet, like everything, you know, feeling back to normal. He was like, great. Practice starts on the 17th. I was like, what?
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about all that. When I've been on bed rest for 2 months. You think I'm gonna practice?
Yeah.
But I did practice, and we did end up having a productive 2021 season. So that's kind of how, you know, that's the filling they got.
Awesome, man. Hey, that's the kind of stuff you can write a book about when it's all said and done later on in your career, to talk about the ups and downs. And trust me, we've all had those ups and downs, and kudos to you for, first of all, taking the risk to go try that other sport. I mean, look, we got to do what we got to do, but you all also had the wherewithal to come back and do what you were born to do. Okay. So very excited for you. Congrats on 2022. Looking forward to more in 23.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And more importantly, way to clap back at the EP. Great job. Great job. Hey, you and my boy Joe Kovacs. You and my boy Joe Kovacs. Get him every time.
You know what? If that's what I was put on this planet to, was to inspire greatness, then so be it.
There you go.
Well, for those two individuals, you've done well. I mean, you know,
I'll take it.
My boy,
original clapback. The original.
Yeah, exactly. My boy Bracey drops 985 on you, like it's what I do every day. And then Joe threw 76 feet this year. So yeah.
All right. So, you know, I like the direction that the governor took that, because, you know, we are all, in whatever respect, insiders of the sport. And I know a lot of our fans that watch the show appreciate, you know, learning those kind of things, right? So my question for you is more about, you know, the present and the future, because right now, from an American perspective, you know, we're back to dominating the podium in the 100 meters, like, you know, a lot of us feel we always should. And there's a very eclectic group of you all sitting at the top. Very different athletes, different, you know, not everybody's in your camp. You and Trayvon have done well down there with Raina, but, you know, we got people from different camps, different brands, and it seems like there's a legitimate rivalry there. You know, social media, you all go back and forth at each other. Like, how do you see, you know, the next 2 years playing out? We got world championships coming up. I know you want to win, but what do you think about the current, you know, reemergence of the American 100-meter runs?
I'll say first and foremost that, like, I am a huge fan of you know, where, you know, the men's 100 is today. Obviously we're all fans of greatness. You know, we all saw what Usain Bolt came and did, but, you know, I mean, if I'm being honest, like, what's really better than not really knowing who's going to win? You know, it's just one of those situations where, like, yeah, we saw somebody run 9.7 in the prelims, you know, being Fred, and everybody was quick to anoint him like the win. But, you know, just in my mind, like, it's not won until it's won. I mean, you know, Mouse saw me, you know, leading up to the championship, and I kept telling him, like, I feel it. You know, I was telling them that I feel it. So, you know, just as
To
far
be
as like,
exact, there's blood in this damn water, coach.
that's what I said.
To be exact, I walk in the warfare area, coach. There's blood in this damn water today.
That's right.
Blood in the water,
Love it.
you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And so just like where we are, like, you know, and it's crazy because I saw it on a list. I'm actually one of the oldest at 28. I think Fred is 27, Trey is 26, Christian is 26. So we definitely got some youth. You know, but you know, being an old guy, being experienced, like I know that, you know, this is gonna segue into, you know, some huge championships the next 2-3 years, and it's gonna be competitive. You know, people think that, you know, Christian's going away quietly. That's not gonna happen. You know, so he'll be back. Thank God we do get 4 next year in the 100. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Like I love the trash talk. I love, you know, to be able to back it up. So I'm liking where it is.
Good. You know, I just got to ask a question, and you know me, you know what I'm gonna ask about. Why did we overreact to the semi at Worlds in the 4x1 and then underperform in the final? And I'm not asking you to pick at people. I'm talking systematically. Does that make sense? Like I'm not trying to start anything. This is like one of those deals. Like I want us to be great. No, I'm being serious. Like I want us to be great.
Get your boy.
Listen. If you didn't ask the relay question, you know I was gonna.
That's why I told you to get your boy.
I said it in Eugene, sitting between the two of you. The women from Jamaica and the men from the United States lost on the final day for the same reason. Hubris.
Blew it. Like it was
right. Bro, like you got the 4 fastest. There ain't no way you should lose, and you lose because you was smelling yourself beforehand. And I don't mean any particular person.
Listen, I have never in my life been more disappointed to win not only a medal but money. I've never in my life felt that low to win, because like I really felt like at that point we had let everybody down. And I came in with, I was talking about confidence I'm like, oh, we just based off the time we ran yesterday, if we really come and do that, like we can win this race with that time, let alone, you know what I'm saying? Obviously we knew that, you know, some of these guys was gonna come in, you know, hot, ready to run. And I think, like you said, I think that we really did just get to a point where we start smelling ourselves, because it felt like it was gonna be too easy. And I knew once I didn't see Noah like peel, was it Jerome Lake? I was like, oh shit, we got to run. Like this is actually about to be a battle. So I could actually see out of the corner of my eye, like, and I had told I told Eli the day before. I told Eli in the call room. I said because I had watched the race at least like 50, 60 times after the prelims, just making sure like, okay, how can we really be like as clean as humanly possible? Because everybody got ran up on. So it was like, okay, you know, just, you know, first round jitters, like, you know, we'll everybody will be a little bit more electric tomorrow. And I told Eli in the call room, I was like, yesterday, like my hand was out and like you were kind of running with the baton out and you missed. And, you know, thank God it was the prelims and we cleaned it up and we got through the heat, but we can't do that today. And, you know, looking back at the finals, kind of the same thing happened. Like my hand was just kind of out there and I'm picking up speed. So, you know, my hand is going to shift a little bit. And I felt like and I have a picture of it. I felt him like go past my hand. And I freaked out in my mind because I could see out of the corner of my eye. I saw the grass get the baton and start running. And I was like, shit. And I literally turned my hand from like this and I turned it like this and grabbed it. And that's why he fell, because I pulled him with me. I was like, I'm not, listen, you can't. I was like, you coming with me. I don't care whose fault it is. I don't care if it was my fault, my hand moving. If you, I don't care what it is, but we're going to finish the race. Like, we're not going to get DQ'd at home. Like, that's just not happening. So, you know, I did everything I could, but I mean, when somebody split 8-7, it's kind of hard to go get them.
All right, so in that respect, let me ask this, and because we talk a lot about the relays around here, it's probably our hottest topic during the season every year. You were on the team, you went through this process. Did you feel, obviously y'all were ready to run, y'all are world-class athletes, you got the medals in the individual event, but did you feel like the process itself lent it to you all being as prepared as possible in context? or did it feel, was the process more chaotic?
No, I'll say this. And I mean, in all fairness, it would be kind of stupid to say for the men, the process didn't do us justice when 10 minutes later we saw the women who did the same exact process pull off a win against a great team. So we both had this, so we both did it. We was at the relay camp the same days, we was at Worlds the same days, we got the same amount of work in. It's just that we just went out there and just choked it, man. Like, it's no other explanation as for, like, the men, like, we as, I kind of anointed myself group leader, so I can sit here and say, man, like, I didn't do everything. I feel like I did everything I could to get the team fully prepared. You know, at the end of the day, the coach is coach, but when you send them people out there, bro, like, y'all won't say it, and I'll say it for you as an athlete, like, it ain't shit you can do about it. Like, once you do everything you can as far as coach them up, I'm pretty sure every one of y'all have coached somebody up, and they got to the call room, and 30 minutes later, you're like, damn, what happened? Like, you look fine, you know what I'm saying, 30 minutes ago.
That's a very nice version of what we say out loud.
Yeah, like, you know, like,
Absolutely.
what was that? You know, so nah, they did their part, man. The girls went out there and did their part, and the boys just didn't get it done. Like, it's no in between. Listen, you really don't need a F ton of stick work. Like, we had the appropriate amount of stick work. It looked good in practice, and that's why we felt comfortable going out there. So just now, at least we know that we can get the baton around. Now it's about, okay, how can we do it cleanly? Because, you know, we got DQ'd like a year ago.
Many times. Many times.
You know what I'm saying? So at least, you know, like, like, it sucks. Again, it sucks to lose, but shit, you got to crawl before you walk. So, you know, it would have been nice to win it, especially at home with the way the championship was going. But I mean, we live to fight another day.
Hey, I'll say this if no one else will. I respect it. Anytime athletes take ownership of,
absolutely,
I respect it.
Yeah, man.
And I'll say this: taking ownership is the key to it not ever happening again.
Yes.
Like, that's the first piece that had to happen. Yep. So good.
I'm curious.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Speak.
No, I was just saying, and I would never really, you know, put it on one person if it's not myself. But, you know, I mean, we also was missing a key piece off of the relay, you know, due to, you know, relay camp attendance and stuff like that. And we just, you know, the man said what he said. He said, you're in that relay camp, you're running.
You're not running, yeah.
It was like, and then actually what people don't know is the team changed like 3 times. So originally it was Christian to Noah to me to Fred. So that was the first team. And then after the 100, it switched, and he was like, we're gonna go Bracy on the first, to Noah, to Eli, to Fred. And so it ended up getting kind of like funky, because I asked him, I was like, hey coach, I didn't really get no work in with Noah, and once I finished the 100, he was prepping for the 200, so I never got a chance to work with him. I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really feel that comfortable, you know what I'm saying, trying to pull this off like that if we ain't get to work in. Like, it just, and I mean, and then I was like, how do you really, you know, justify? I was like, Christian led the damn race for 70, 80 meters. Like, we can't use that on the relay, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta find a way. Like, I ain't saying who to kick off and who to put on, but we might need that dude. And so then next thing you know, Fred goes down. And so we're scrambling again. So he was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Christian to Noah, to Eli, to Marvin. And then thank God me and Eli was able to do stick work, you know, 2 or 3 days before the meet. So I felt comfortable doing that. I was like, yeah, I can just go on, you know, because I honestly thought, I was like, with Christian leading and Noah going second, we should be in a lead. Like, it's gonna be a lead. I'm just holding it, having fun.
Yes.
And it didn't work out that way, but it was a nice thought.
Okay.
But again, it was on us. Once we got to the call, we executed the first day, we just didn't do it the second day. So it was not on him, it was just on the athletes.
Fair enough.
I like that you pointed out the perspective of the female's role as well. I've not heard that connected before. So I think that shows, you know, wherever every different person in this that's had this conversation with their peers, with the athletes themselves, whoever, like, that's something that you can't poke a hole through, right? You all are who you are. You did your job, or whatever you performed at whatever level you did, and you can't say that it was inadequate at any point because somebody else who did the same or equal was successful. So
Exactly.
kudos to you on bringing that to light.
I mean, it's evident. They always get it done. Look at every championship. Like they get, whether they win or get second, like they get it done. They get it around. Sometimes we're a little bit, outmanned with, them having 3 10-7s and a 10-8. Like, what are we really supposed to do about that? But they still get it around and do their part. And so it's just been, I've always attributed to the athletes, bro. Like at the end of the day, like, I feel like because I've been a part of relays. Like I think, we came over to Tom Jones. I think we ran like 38-4, and y'all team, coach team, y'all team ran what 38-0. And that's a relay, that's a thrown together relay in April, and the sticks are getting around and everybody's doing their part. So again, to me, a relay shouldn't be that hard. Like we practiced stick work one time leading into that meet, and we got it around. Yeah, we ran slower, but it still got around. And I mean, we did what needed to be done. And like I was like 38-0 ain't nothing to like kind of stuff your nose at. So
not at all.
Like that would have got what, top 5, top 6, So
I mean, I'm going to reiterate out loud that you said the relay isn't that hard. I'm just going to say that out loud.
I mean,
we've all said
it.
That
We've all said it.
hard.
It's really not that hard, bro.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, high school coaches, collegiate coaches, AAU, USATF coaches, please hear that out loud. The relay is not that hard. So anyhow, are we good with the punches thrown and ready to move on to some nonsense?
Sir Lucius,
Yes.
We're good. All right.
Look, that Marvin, that's my guy. Been my guy for a long time. Even when he was at Florida State, he was still my guy. We're always gonna be good.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Well, then let's have a little bit of fun. Marvin talked about his second career, and we went ahead and put that to bed. But that doesn't mean he's not a fan of it. So, this little thing called college football. Clyde is, we'll call it a fan. I don't know if there's a fandom or a hatred.
Chaos.
He's just a fan. He's a fan of chaos.
Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. Clyde is not a fan of college football at all. I enjoy the game. I like football, but until we get to this new thing that's coming, college football remains
can we not
the most fraudulent sport in American athletics.
Can we talk
there
about
is no
the chaos, please?
real championship.
Okay.
And therefore, no, this is the point.
Look at
and
Marvin's face right now.
root
Marvin's like,
for
what is he
chaos.
talking about?
I root for chaos. You ask,
Oh,
I root
man.
for chaos every year.
Okay.
Chaos.
Root on.
All right.
I need a backstory or something. Like, why is he tripping?
Oh, we could be on all night.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you his phone number and y'all can do that.
Yeah, the backstory is real simple, Marvin. Clyde roots weekly for chaos. Like any scenario that is going to lead to there being the most ambiguity and nonsense at the end of the year is what he roots for.
Yes.
Dynamo.
Bracey, it's not that complicated, Mr. Bracey.
It would warm his heart if Alabama had 3 losses and we're still in the picture come playoffs. Like it would absolutely.
Every SEC team have 2 losses. That's
and if Alabama had 3 losses, they'd probably be in the championship game. Because that's what we do.
Governor. See, Governor,
Bracey gets it. He knows. He knows.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
I'm actually
not gonna
listen, bro.
happen. Not 3 losses.
Probably won't happen, but they would find. I bet they still be top 10. I bet you they still be top 10.
Oh,
and they'll be fighting.
no
They'll be one of those teams fighting on the outside of the bubble. Like, come on, bro. Like they love Alabama, man. I'm with you on that one. I'm actually with you on that one.
Marvin,
Done did it.
Not helping right now. Can we talk about college football?
Yeah.
Yes.
All
No.
right.
So,
all right, Mr. Chaos.
Am I meant to throw this? Am I meant to just go first?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do it.
So, the preseason rankings a joke. We're four games in. There seems to be a little bit, of interesting things going on right now. Let me personally say, and again, I get a lot of flack, like I'm anti-SEC. I'm an SEC alumni. SEC football in general and college football in general is better when Tennessee looks relevant, in my opinion. They're playing well. They're 4-0. They're in the top 10 right now. The rumors of Pac-10 debacles are largely Pac-12 debacles are largely overstated, as 4 teams are playing, very well right now. It's an interesting start to the season. Texas is unranked. Shocker. Who didn't see that coming? But honestly, the biggest story, and I really mean this, the Lincoln Riley move and all the transfer portal kids that are at USC right now.
Yeah.
They're playing a very interesting brand of football. And I don't know how much people are paying attention to it. Oklahoma was known for what? Big offense, marginal defense. Whatever you thought about the Oklahoma offense, understand USC by the numbers is far and away better than anything that was going on in Oklahoma right now.
For sure.
And the defense is about the same, right? So if Lincoln Riley keeps his track record, USC might be the first team in the Pac-12 to actually go undefeated in the Pac-12 in an extremely long time, which obviously would land them in the show, because the one Power 5 conference where it's clearly impossible to go undefeated has been the Pac-12 for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, let me jump in and give my musings from this short season so far. The power rankings are almost always, we start with the blue bloods and then throw 6 more in and we should be good. Well, the unfortunate part for all of the early rankers is this year, that's just a terrible idea. Look, I watched the OU Kansas State game from beginning to end, and I'm just telling you, Kansas State's a better football team than Oklahoma. Not if there was no luck to that, they punched them in the mouth from the beginning, the middle, and the end, and the score shouldn't have been as close as it was. Texas and Texas Tech are both mediocre, and I thought it was hilarious that Texas Tech beat Texas and then stormed the field. Why do you storm the field after you beat an unranked team? It makes you look bad.
It's not about the ranking.
It has nothing to do with that.
Exactly, and it's just rivalries, man. It's just
Period.
Exactly. Anybody from Texas that beats Texas, they're storming the field.
Period.
Yeah.
And we know that Tech has the money to pay for the fine.
Ooh, shots fired. But yeah, this year, blue blood. Okay, stop me if you've heard this before. Other than Alabama, blue blood football is interesting, right? Ohio State is probably the best team in the Big Ten. I think they're definitely the most talented. But I'm not sure they're the best team. But then again, it's Michigan.
Who's better?
Well, that's my point. Is then again, so it's like Michigan. Lord knows I don't believe in that, right? I just don't believe in that. And Michigan State had a clunker this past weekend, and Iowa can't score, and nobody believes in Purdue.
That's Michigan State lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those deals where it's hard to tell how good Ohio State is yet, because nobody else in the Big Ten's any good right now.
Yeah.
Right. Because Wisconsin was supposed to give them a game, and I turned that off after the half a quarter. This is gonna be. I got better things to do with my time than watch
the timeout.
Wait. Hold on.
I want to say one thing, and then I'm going to pass it off to y'all.
Can we get this in? I'm not suggesting they're good or anything, but Mr. Bracey's Florida State Seminoles are 4-0.
They are 4-0.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to come up. I was just waiting.
Well, before we get to the team that the prime time is going to coach soon, let's give a shout out to Mr. Was it Bo Pelini? Who was the coach of Nebraska that got fired for Scott Frost? Bo Pelini, right? I think it's time for everybody to give Bo Pelini his flowers. Bo Pelini won an average of 9 games a year at Nebraska.
Yes.
And not once. He won an average of 9 games a year at Nebraska. Scott Frost has barely won 9 games at Nebraska.
Yes.
Hey,
And
it
there
was
is
a
a parallel.
conclusion that Scott Frost was going to make it all happen in Nebraska.
And there is a parallel that's playing out right now down here in my state. Okay.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Also, there's another one.
Texas.
Mac Brown.
That's
No,
right. Mac Brown.
Perennial.
Yes.
9 to 10 wins per season.
Yep.
Perennially. Okay.
And they ran him out.
And they ran him out of there. And now look at it. It's poetic justice. That's all the only way I can count it, right? But let's get down to our Florida State Seminoles, man. I mean, look.
Okay, I have a question, and I'm going to ask this question, and I'm not saying this because I happen to work a little bit, southeast of that campus, but can you tell me who the Florida State Seminoles are beating this year?
Oh,
not a
Yes.
soul.
Wait, didn't they beat LSU?
Not a soul. Listen,
See,
ahead,
that's
Jason.
from a Seminole.
The floor
I'm not
is
delusional.
yours.
I'm not.
Go
Listen,
ahead.
I'm not delusional. Like I'm not delusional. I know.
But
After the LSU
Marvin, you
and-
get it
and-
though. You
and-
gotta
and-
take look. You gotta take your wins when you get them.
All jokes aside, they are way better than they were a year ago.
But
Yes.
they are better than they were a year ago.
And
But it's like
somebody needs to, because they're going to keep. You guys are football, basketball, whatever. Get a little momentum going and start believing in themselves.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong
Yeah.
though. Like
They're way better, man.
I mean, because they coach the same game, I have to compare, what I saw and what actually kind of drove me to Florida State with what's going on now. And that's the sense that like when Jimbo took over, like he was getting 10, 11 wins, win a bowl game. And then he started like stacking. And that's when he got the team that he got to win the national championship and go 29-1 or something like that when they lost to Oregon in the playoffs. And we don't have the same, it's not the same level of talent, there yet, but like getting those guys to come together and win like that, even if we do get whacked once or twice this year, we could, that's two losses make us 11-2, 10-3, something like that. That it does, like you said, it gets guys to believe that, okay, like we can actually play with these people, and it makes recruits want to come now, but when you go in 4-8 and not making bowl game stuff and you Florida State University, it don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Then, like you said, in the transfer portal, kids don't want to come there. They don't believe in the coach. So I ain't delusional. I see what's going on. I think that, we still got a long ways to go. But I mean, at the end of the day, 4-0 is 4-0. So as long as we keep stringing together wins,
Forest this weekend?
they will beat Wake Forest this weekend.
All right, he's calling it.
NC State. NC State is who I fear. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is the Wake Forest game? Is it in Wake? Is that Wake Forest or is okay?
It's
Then
in Tallahassee. No, the NC State
because
game.
Wake Forest is still going to have a hangover from what they almost did with Clemson.
Yes, exactly.
Listen,
That's gonna
man,
be
I
their
don't know if
problem.
any of y'all teams ever went into Raleigh, North Carolina. I went my freshman year, and I was red shirted. But I walked in there with like I felt like I was about to play, and like my chest was like caving, and I was like, "Bro, this is different." Like when we get ready for that game, they actually put speakers on each side of on each end of the field, and they play crowd noise for 2.5 hours, and we have to communicate. It's so loud, you can't really talk to the person next to you. You got to yell, so it's making us like communicate the calls on the field because you can't hear in that stadium.
So the matchup predictor right now is saying 73% for Florida State. So that should be.
So
that's real. I believe that too.
Yeah, okay. I think Florida State. So Florida, we're gonna find out how good Florida State is. They got Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson.
Clemson back
to back.
Yep.
Which now, is for ACC, that's as brutal a schedule as you can have.
That is as brutal
as
that.
But like, you think about it, though, but there was a time where nobody really cared about Wake Forest 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We was cream puffing Wake Forest, and now all of a sudden, man,
Wake Forest is solid. They solid.
Yes. Yeah, they're a much better football team. But they could have very easily won the game on Saturday.
But to answer the EP's question, they have beaten Boston College 44-14, Louisville 35-31, LSU hilarious 24-3, and Duquesne for the Open, which I still don't understand how that's even legal to schedule.
Hence the
you gotta get
from Marvin that I am not delusional. That's what Marvin said that like 5 times. I'm not delusional.
I'm not
No,
crazy
it's
now.
not a shot at Marvin. Marvin is very
No. I'm
level-headed
just
guy.
saying, like he was just saying that as a Florida State fan. And look, I'm not a Florida State fan, clearly, but I am a fan. One of my favorite humans is on that staff, and Randy Shannon.
Absolutely.
And I'm always going to be a Randy Shannon fan. I love, the way he does his work. And I can see though things are different in Tallahassee. I mean, I'm not rooting for them, obviously, but they're doing a great job.
I mean, a year ago we would have lost the LSU game. A year ago we would have lost to Louisville. A year ago we probably would have found it. I mean, Boston College just beat us like 35-3, like a year or two ago. So, like you said, we are better than where we were. But don't get me wrong, I'm not screaming. Bring us. We want Georgia. I ain't saying that.
And see, and I'm glad you brought Georgia up. Like, wow. Like,
yes.
now there's a football team.
Yes.
Okay,
so
part of the reason I root for chaos here. So obviously the committee rankings ain't out yet, right? But so there's 2 major rankings. You have the coaches poll, and then you have the AP poll, which just right there, there's no universe where all of these people are this different of thought process. The coaches have Georgia #1 with 34 votes, Alabama #2 with 26 votes, and 4 votes for Ohio State. But the AP, Georgia 55, Alabama 4, Ohio State 4. 1, 2, 3. Like, all of this is shenanigans. Like, just leave it alone until week 8. Like, just shut up with rankings until week 8.
Just had this conversation. I told somebody, like, I don't think they should come out till like week 6, bro. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
it's gonna change so much anyway.
But you gotta have those little numbers next to teams when you put them on the television.
TV,
Yeah, exactly.
I get it, but
That's
it's
all
like
it's about.
That's
money.
all it's about.
That's all it is.
We beat this horse to death. I don't think that the sports writers are voting because they worry about TV rankings. So that's not fair. That's not what goes on. I mean, and obviously there's no world where you shouldn't believe that coaches and sports writers think differently, because clearly they do. They always have. Because the sports writers are more about the hype, and the coaches are probably more about the on-field performances and stuff, which is hence why Georgia has such a big lead with the sports writers than they do over the coaches.
Well, that, as you know, that's my one of my major issues. It's all hype. It's all TV, sponsors, dollars. It's hype.
Yeah, I hear you, but not when it comes to the AP versus the coaches poll.
I got you.
So I want to talk about something that may make you happy, because I do think that the SEC's overrated this year, right?
I mean, every
watch
year.
it, but watch it. Okay, there you go. Okay,
Couldn't even finish
you want
the
to start this stuff?
No, go ahead.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna take some crap for this, but somebody had the audacity to say something very similar to me about the SEC when it came to track and field.
Oh,
and all I said was
Oh,
count our rings, and I'm done.
Oh,
so anyway,
boy.
so when it comes to football, and there's some good football being played in the SEC, mostly by Georgia right now. Some very competitive games,
Yes.
but there's some other good teams in the league. We'll find out as we go along. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is this: there are some teams in this league that are a little bit too hyped. I feel like Arkansas was a little overhyped. I definitely think A&M has been greatly overhyped. And while I am a big fan of the chaos that can be the Ole Miss offense, right? We hype them up every year, and then by the end of the season, we forgot about them.
Yep.
So if you want to watch a Mississippi State game, lots of trick plays, lots of funky stuff. It's not football, Let's get back to the down and gritty and dirty and smack people in the mouth and get some stuff done.
I mean, I think right now you add Kentucky and Tennessee to that foursome, that as far as the top 4 in the SEC, and I think Florida is right there. I think Florida is still figuring stuff out, but
we're a couple of years away.
Florida's a good football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those
quarterback
those
is very
teams
good
right now.
The quarterback is very good.
Yes, he is very good. But clearly Georgia is a cut above right now. We still have not seen Alabama play the kind of ball we're used to seeing. But But here's my other question, and I'm just going to throw this out in the ether. Florida comes to Florida State this year, don't they? What is your what do you see happening for that rivalry?
You talking to me? You talking to the guy that's going to?
I'm talking to Bracy.
That's going to be unstraightening his tie the night after that.
Oh,
What is the feeling for?
I think the last time they beat us, Marvin was in school, wasn't he? I'm sorry.
Oh, shots fired and exploded.
Oh my God.
No, actually,
That's going to be a very good football game.
Yes,
The year I was in school, they actually beat us was at Florida State. They beat us, I think, like 37 to like 22 or something. Gave us our second loss of the season. But I was there when they almost goose egged them in Gainesville. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
Who was the head coach when you almost goose egged? When you almost goose egged us, you mean?
Jimbo.
Now, who was the coach in Gainesville?
Oh, 2013. I don't even know. They've been through a couple since then.
Exactly.
Ron Zook, maybe?
Was it Ron Zook?
No,
that was before Zook.
Not
Muschamp.
Al Golden. What was the Muschamp? Will Muschamp. That's what it was.
That'd
Yeah,
be Muschamp.
Al Golden was at Miami. But no, I think that this year, based off what I've seen so far, for the 4 games, I think that it's actually going to be a good game. I'm actually looking forward to it. So
yeah, I
but I need my boys
right now. I know who I'm rooting for, but I'm no guarantees right here, brother. None.
And let me just, since we took the time to go early season college football, I'm just gonna throw this out there until it happens.
You gonna say something crazy?
No, just factual.
he already knows.
Right? Like, okay,
Thank you, Marvin.
like last year, easily the moment that led to Ed Ogeron getting fired at LSU was they had the stones to get on the plane and come to California, and they lost to UCLA. Now in Louisiana, you can't have that. Everybody knew he was done, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is Alabama, Oregon lost their coach, half the staff, a whole bunch of people in the portal because the coach left, got on a plane, flew to Atlanta for a neutral game against Georgia and got blown out. And everybody says Oregon's trash. Well, when does Georgia get on the plane and come to Austin? Never. When does Alabama travel west of Texas to play a football game? Never. And there's a reason for that. So I'm not saying Oregon's great because they're probably average, but they're not nearly as bad as they looked week 1 with all these new things.
So you had to say all that just to say that?
No, I'm just saying, when does Georgia and Alabama
what did you have to throw shots at the SEC?
When do they go up north to play? When do they go anywhere other than
the Lord?
Okay. So, hey, all I know is count the rings, baby.
We're going to count them because they're predetermined.
No, they're not predetermined. The one on the football field. Isn't it predetermined?
Right now, it's week 4.
There's nothing predetermined about that.
2 guaranteed
There's
spots.
nothing predetermined about the 4 teams that get into the playoff and get themselves smacked in the mouth.
There's only 2 teams that get in. There's only 2 teams that get in.
Okay.
The other 2 are on reserve.
So those other 2 teams that get in and get themselves smacked in the mouth by SEC teams. So my thing to you is tell one of your California teams to be better. That's all.
Right now, there's probably not going to be a Big 12 team.
No, the Big 12 is a dumpster fire.
Because Kansas State's not making it all the way.
Big 12 is a dumpster fire.
And Iowa State's not making it all the way.
Lamar, Kansas is 4-0 and they're not ranked.
You opened your mouth and said Kansas. Sir, basketball season starts in December. I want you to stop.
But I want you to have the same energy you had last year when there were teams undefeated and you were losing your mind. They weren't ranked. I want you to do the same thing. So when Kansas is 6-0, I want you on this show with an attitude.
I'm right there with you.
I would never rank
right there with
football.
I know you wouldn't, but last year, bro, you were at there. Anybody that was undefeated, why are they getting some attention? You've forgotten that soapbox that you stood proudly on top of.
Because the soapbox I was on was Cincinnati because it wasn't 1 year. See, you got to understand where it starts with me is
I remember the Cincinnati. There was a whole different rant.
And will always be a Boise State fan. So I'm always a fan of the team that was super good last year that starts out preseason ranked way too low than where they should be, and they got to climb and beat everybody and their mother to get back to where they should have been in the first place. So yeah, I was on that soapbox, and I still will be. Kansas can't beat anybody in football. I don't care what you say. And
they're 4-0. They beat
They're
4-0.
that is awesome.
They beat Houston.
Hold on a second. Is Florida State ranked?
You said they beat Houston.
Yeah, 23.
See, Florida State's ranked.
Hey, listen, how bad? Listen, how bad is the Big 12?
They should be. No shots. They should be.
At this moment, the Big 12 has 3 teams ranked, and if you want to consider Oklahoma halfway out, you can go 2.5. But Baylor is the top ranked team at 16.
Yeah,
and Kansas State is ranked. That's how bad the Big 12 is.
And I'm telling you, Kansas State's the best team in the Big 12. And because it's Kansas State, they got no shot. They're going to have to be undefeated.
It's the biggest nightmare scenario for the Big 12.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I made the error. I'm sorry. Oklahoma State is number 9. My bad.
Okay. All right.
No one
He's a man. He's almost 50. I like Mike Gundy. He's crazy, but I like him.
Wait, can we get off the Big 12 nap yet? I mean, come on.
Well, don't trip. TCU will never be ranked in football again.
I know, but come on.
God,
I mean, we know this.
Gary got a job. He's running Texas, kind of.
I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah, look, hold on.
Hey, look, at least they beat
I need
SMU.
my paychecks. So I need my paychecks. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
I mean, right now, look, if you had to pick the teams that you thought were going to be in the Final Four, right? I'm going to say SC is going to be one of them. I'm going to say Alabama is going to be another one. Probably Ohio State. And then the question is it going to be Clemson or Georgia?
Dude, you already know the answer to this. It's very
Georgia.
Georgia.
They got allocated spots already, man. There's 2 allocated SEC spots, bro.
There you go.
That's why they started the playoff, because they wanted to get
if USC runs the table out west, which they probably won't do because it never happens, Georgia and Alabama will be in. The winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game will be in, and then USC will be in.
Right, but
Ohio State's in.
But if Clemson does what they normally do, they'll be in because they got that long-standing pedigree at this point. But this is what it comes down to. It's going to come down to the second SEC team or a Power 5 champion. That's what it's going to come down to.
But Clemson doesn't have, sweetest massages set up for the quarterback anymore, and therefore they're not going to make it.
I think they'll be okay. Smart ass.
What was that?
That was a Deshaun Watson shot.
I know what it was. But what was that?
I mean, since he left, what's Clemson been?
Oh my gosh!
Because there's a guy that's playing quarterback in Jacksonville right now.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence was.
Yeah, so he wasn't talking about no massages then and stuff.
Exactly. They won 2 national championships.
Respectful young fella. Yes. Without that.
All right. Here's. I mean, I just got to get this question in because I'm seeing some things on ESPN and other channels and stuff like that. They are claiming that the Dolphins are the best team in the NFL right now. Would you agree with that, Mr. Bracey?
God, no, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is they?
No. That's a real.
Go look.
The talking heads.
It's the ESPN talking heads, right?
Yeah.
They are.
Okay, but look, they're paid to be what Clyde is for real, right? On television, chaos gets clicks and channel stays, right? You have to, it's no fun to say that Kansas City and Buffalo and Tampa and Green Bay are the 4 best teams in the NFL. Because guess what?
Hold on a second. Three of those 4 teams lost last week, didn't they?
And that's why
chaos.
They can jump on the Miami's the best team.
Right.
Nonsense.
Hold on a second.
Right?
Why is that not chaos?
It's not.
That's what I'm saying. It's built for that, right?
It's not really chaos because the NFL is set up for parity, right? The whole model is that everybody has a chance, and you could be Jacksonville trash last year, and going to be a playoff team this year. You feel
quote
me?
unquote for most people 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them lost last week.
Yes, it is.
Sure. One of them was playing crippled with no receivers, but
Hold hold on a second. An L is an L is an
Yeah.
L.
Yeah, sure.
And hey, 6
So
weeks.
and hold on a second. And if your guy is a super, you always want to make him out to be, you should have found a way to win the daggone football
Shit, what else you want the man to do?
game. Find a way to win the football game.
I mean,
Can't
look,
do
I wasn't even going to
everything.
go there.
Hold on a second. The way you talk about him, he can do everything. Find a way to win the football.
I wasn't even going to go there, but I'm telling you this right now. I said it 3 times during the game in our house.
Hold on
I said it 3 times.
Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
I understand why Aaron Rodgers throws his teammates under the bus sometimes. Because that man cannot do any more than he does for Green Bay.
Okay, but wait a minute. Since we're having that conversation, sir, if you watched the game, and I know you did.
I watched every minute of it.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers, he's like Kevin Durant. He's so pouty. The dude fumbled the ball, and once he fumbled the ball, Aaron Rodgers was trash for the whole rest of the game. Like,
Listen,
why are you
man,
so pouty,
when
bro?
you
Like,
throw a 65-yard dot
overcome adversity.
that hits a dude
Be like Brady.
right here.
Figure it
Right
out.
on his
Hold on a
fingers.
second. Didn't he beat Mr. Overcome Adversity? Didn't he?
Yes.
He don't beat him in the playoffs. He don't beat him when it matters.
Hold on a second. See,
Playoffs.
I want you to rewind the tape. As Chu said, rewind the tape and put a pin in it. Because a week ago, you said Brady was going to win the game.
You did.
Right here on this.
You did.
I did honestly at that moment. I didn't realize that all 3 receivers were out. But yeah, I thought and he still almost won the game. So it's fine. I ain't
More
worried
shoes and
about
hand
it.
grenades,
So
baby.
Bracy,
Only
who
thing
is the
almost
best-
counts.
Who is the best football team in the league right now, according to you?
The best football team in the league, according to me, is still, well, not still. I think it's Kansas City, man.
All right.
Like I
Thank
really do think that they have. I mean, I know that they suffered a loss, and I mean sometimes you get got, but nobody would predict. They fucked up a lot of people. Excuse my language. They messed up a lot of people's parlay. Me being one of them, because and nobody think that they was going to lose to nobody. Indianapolis didn't even think they was gonna win that game.
Yeah.
And they find a way to do it. It is what it is. But like, just based off the small sample size that we have seen, man, when they get that offense clicking, it just gets going. It's so hard to stop.
Amen.
And so I think that they really are. I think that they really are the best team. But as the season plays out, we'll kind of see. Because I was actually high on Buffalo actually this year as well. They've gotten so close to getting it done. I thought that they finally found the missing. They got Von Miller over there. I was like, they're putting together a nice defense. The quarterback is getting better and better every year. Because I'm not gonna lie, when they drafted him, I was like, what?
They had 5 defensive starters hurt last week.
I was like, from where? And so he's gotten better. He shut a lot of people up. He's gotten better, and I mean, Stephon Diggs is doing his thing on the offensive side. So I think that it's going to be a nice battle, especially over in the AFC. But I think that Kansas City is still the best team.
That was a special team loss. Kansas City lost that game on special teams. Ridiculous.
Wait, so before we let you go, who's your QB?
My favorite?
Your favorite and current?
Oh, my favorite quarterback of all time is Michael Vick.
Woo.
Michael Vick.
Got
Yeah, I
it.
can't. Yeah, that's all time. It's Michael Vick. Currently, all right. So this is gonna be biased, and I don't give a damn what nobody's about to say. But Jameis Winston is my favorite quarterback in the National Football League.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
Marvin.
Oh, listen.
Marvin.
Everybody's favorite is a bias. Okay. You can have your biased favorites. Listen, I respect it as long as he doesn't try to tell us that Jameis is any good.
Man,
We all got favorites, baby.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Listen, so obviously it's, like I said, it's biased because that's a really good friend of mine. Went to school together, and I've gotten to know him like off the field, and I know I know him through and through as a person, and what he stands for and represents. I wish that thing would have played out differently. I'm still pissed off that Tampa decided to actually get a top 3 defense. When White Jesus comes down from where the hell he came from New England.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
right.
I look at numbers. I want to actually coach football when my career is said and done. So I've looked at the numbers. His 5 years in Tampa, the best ranked defense they had was 17. Wow. So I would be taking shots too if I got 20th, 17th, 20th, 28th, 31st, and 32nd. They were the worst defense while he was in the league. And it's a reason why they had the first pick. You know, it's a reason why he was the first pick overall to the Tampa, the Succaneers. So they did my boy wrong.
All true.
Dropping
But
dimes.
Mr. Bracey, they played a lot of defense when he was there throwing 30 picks. Played a lot of defense.
Oh gosh.
But listen, go back this. I want you to
Yang.
go back and look. I want you to go back and look at his college film, right? He was doing the same exact shit. It's just that them dudes up there just on a different level, bro. Like, you ain't playing Boston College. You ain't playing Boston College, bro. You playing, you know what I'm saying? You playing New Kuechly. So I definitely, I hope that things turn around for him, because the guy does work his ass off, and he's definitely dedicated to his craft. But that's my boy.
Okay.
Just
My
to
boy,
tell you
man.
where he's at in my life, I dropped him as my backup quarterback this week to pick up a second defense.
Wow.
Jameis Winston was dropped for the Giants defense, sir.
Because of that, he's gonna have one of those games where he goes for like 350 and like 3 touchdowns, and you gonna eat.
It doesn't matter. You know why? No matter who my backup quarterback is, they play 1 week a year, because my starting quarterback is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
So
I got it. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Well, we definitely hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you got some good stuff. So great to have you on. Go enjoy the rest of your evening, and we can't wait to see what you do. Be safe, please.
Thank y'all.
Be safe, Bracey.
Have a good night.
Hey, take care.
All right, Marvin.
That was awesome. Worth the wait.
It was worth the wait.
Yes.
It
So,
was worth the wait.
so having a championship type person just leave our screens here. I'm going to continue the theme and ask you all a question. Would having a major championship every year be a good thing for track and field? Let me redirect for track and field. Make sure everyone understands what we're saying.
Well, I think the first comment that most people are going to make is like, everybody else has one every year, why don't we? Right. I think that because flat track, we are who we are in track and field. If there was one, we'd find a way to make it work. I think that, obviously, I think the EP can speak better to this than I can as to why it doesn't happen. But from a coaching standpoint, from an athlete standpoint, I think that if there is one, I think they'd find a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that the EP will close best with this. So
yeah, sure. I'll run anchor. That's fine.
I would just keep it short and say undeniably yes, and thankfully one of the very few positives from COVID is that we're going to get to see this experiment play out, right?
Bingo.
And
Yes.
I can't imagine any negative fallout from it. We're 2 years into, what is it going to be, 6 straight?
5 straight.
5 straight, and everything looks phenomenal to me, including the weird year where we had technically 3 major championships, right? We had Worlds, we had Euros, and we had Commonwealth all at the same time.
And NACAC.
And NACAC.
Well, no, let's not forget we had World Indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Fine.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like,
No, right. So I haven't seen any negative repercussions of it. And so I'm glad that by accident, we're going to get to see it play out. And hopefully, it's rare. Hopefully we learn from this and keep it rolling.
To add on to what you just said, I mean, we have seen pretty much every kind of scenario play out in the last couple of years, thanks to COVID. And I'll take it one step further. I want to see the World Championships every year at the end of the season. That's what I would like to see. That's how every major professional championships work, right? There is a road to the championships, right? Whatever you choose to do, that's up to you. How many meets you choose to do, how tactical you are, whether you take the Sydney route and you show up, you run one time in Europe, and then we don't see you again until World Championships, whether you choose to run 8 races, whatever it is, the schedule is laid out. Have your plan, execute your plan, show up at Worlds the last meet of the year and go get after it. So absolutely, I would love to see that. All it would mean is that the planning aspect, the, knowing, when to go for it, when to back off, understanding your body, reading the room, stuff like that. Those are things that you would have to work out with your coach, your management, stuff like that. But absolutely, I'd love to see it.
Well, first of all, look, I'm a huge fan of this show, so I could sit and watch and listen to you guys talk all night. So that I appreciate your takes on stuff. This was an interesting one for me because I guess I'll start at the end and I'll say, yes, I think it's a good idea, but I'm a lot along the lines of the governor. I think only under certain parameters. I think there's a couple things that would have to happen. One, what are we going to do with indoor worlds? Are we going to make it like a collegiate system where we have indoor worlds and outdoor worlds every year except the Olympic year? Because if that's the schedule and everybody knows that's the schedule, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But only if we say now, starting in 2025, that's what we're going to do. Right? What I don't want to do is what World Athletics likes to do, which is make these switcheroos halfway along, and then we find out that this was the plan all along. So if there's going to be, I would like to see indoor worlds and outdoor worlds in, we'll say 25, 26, 27, and then no indoor worlds and just the Olympics in the Olympic year. Does that make sense? So the 3-year cycle should be indoor and outdoor worlds for those 3 years, and then just the Olympics in the Olympic year. Secondly, I don't think we do any of this unless World Athletics is willing to revamp their whole system and do exactly what the governor proposed. The very last track meet of the year should be World Championships or the Olympics, period. There shouldn't be, I don't care that Zurich's already been at a certain, always at a certain date. I don't care that you want us to think that the World Athletics final is really important. Yeah, but it's not more important than World Championships or European Championships. So this shouldn't happen after those two things.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? Because you're trying to make your thing, the World Athletics Championship, the most important thing. And it's not, and it never will be. And if you don't believe me, look at who ran the 100 in the World Athletics final.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Right? In the Diamond League final. Yeah, exactly. So let's stop that and do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Culminate the indoor season with indoor worlds, culminate the outdoor season with outdoor worlds. Also, world rankings matter, right? They're two separate seasons. What you do under a roof should get you a world ranking under a roof.
Mm-hmm.
The moment we start doing meets outside, those don't count.
Right.
I do not want to see anybody at the year end having a ranking that involves something that happened in March under a roof. That makes no sense. Stop trying to sell that to the rest of the world. So I guess all I'm saying is this. I am a huge fan of the idea, but only under those parameters. My issue is when World Athletics picks when the dates of World Championships are, and you can have a combo that we had before where we have a late one followed by an early one. Because if you look at the last 3 World Championships, it was a late one followed by an early one followed by a late one,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll give you a perfect example, something you guys probably hadn't thought about yet. If you put together a performance at World Championships in any other normal time, right? If you got hurt, you're still already qualified more than likely for the next year's championship because you put up a mark, right? Well, World Championships are so early this year, nothing that happened at World Championships will qualify you for next year's Worlds.
That makes absolutely
zero sense, right? You put up a mark at a championship, at a global championship, but it's
what's the qualifying window for next year's World?
It's 12 months, and it's 14 months between Worlds.
Wow.
So, but then it means we've had this problem before then.
I don't know.
Yes,
I think we have. I think we have.
If we went early and late before, we didn't
Yes,
have this happen before.
I think we have. And so, like, these are the things that we've always dealt with in our sport, right? Because that's what we do. We deal with these things. But if they make us president and court, right, and we're going to change the sport, like, that's how we change the sport to make it make sense to the rest of the world, right? You don't watch football games. You don't watch NFL football games after the Super Bowl, right? The Pro Bowl don't count. That's too bad touch.
But no, the Pro Bowl's before Super Bowl.
Right, but it was, and that's the thing, right? It used to be the week after,
and that's why they changed it. Yeah.
Right, and now they've gotten rid of it altogether.
Yeah, now
they're only going to do a skills challenge from now.
Now it's turned into a festival. Yeah,
which is a much better idea.
In a violent sport, it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But from a track and field perspective, like, that's what needs to happen, right? Again, it's true. Why does this always come back to these same words? It's treating the sport with professionalism and treating it like a real league.
Yeah.
Have some things that make some sense.
Yes.
Right. Like,
events.
if we're going to have if we're going to have a Diamond League final, like, fine, have it 2 weeks before the major championship with no meets in between.
There you go.
Right. I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're going to have an indoor world championship, have it. And whatever, like, we crowned you the best in the world indoors. Now go run the 110 hurdles, and that's what counts, not the 60-meter hurdles, right? And so, like, that's what has to happen, to me, in order for us to have a major championship every year. Because if we keep having these things haphazardly like they do, like, therein lies the problem, right? Like, therein lies the problem. Because World Athletics is trying to be veiled about kowtowing to multiple constituencies. They won't say out loud that European championships are as important to them as World Championships is, that the Diamond League final is as important to them as World Championships is. But it's true.
So here's your qualifying window information for the marathon and the 35-kilometer race walk.
Yeah.
December 1st, 2021, and ends on May 30th, 2023. It's a huge window.
Huge window for those two. For
the
those two
10K, for the 10,000 and 20-kilometer race walk and combined events, the window runs from the 31st of January of 2022 until July 30th of 2023.
So we got 18 months.
For our other disciplines, the qualifying period is July 31st, 2022 to July 30th of 2023.
So when were World Championships?
June.
No, they were in early July.
No. Yeah, I was just giving you the dates. I mean, you were right, but why?
But think about how crazy that is. The decathletes, the walkers, and the marathoners can qualify.
That's why
18 months.
Right, because I knew it was different because of Anna. I knew she had the standard already because she got it in. Yeah.
So that group can qualify for 18 months, but everybody else, I mean, you could have killed it at Worlds. Those marks don't count.
Right.
But the funny part is, if you ran fast at the Diamond League final, that qualifies you.
Right.
Well, but the big thing too is it all comes back to this though. It doesn't matter how fast you ran the year before. You still got to qualify for your championships to get there. So we don't want to beat that horse too bad. It doesn't make any sense, but it'll all work itself out. It always does.
Yeah, and I think where it's more of an issue are in certain field events, right, where the standards are really difficult. If you take away a championship where people will in theory, the most prepared and they have the greatest opportunity to get these marks, right, it then becomes a little bit tougher. But yeah, I mean, to your point, again, the one thing we always do in the sport of track and field is adapt.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll figure it out.
But if we were, if they made us all, king or queen and the court, I think we would all agree that what would best serve the sport is the last thing you see, the end of the track and field season, is the championship. The global
Yeah.
championship should be the end of the season.
Absolutely.
All right, somebody clip that and pass that one along, please. So get to it. So let's take our ears and release our shoulders from them and have some fun. And as I noted before, Sir Lucius is in the ring, and I promise you, I really vetted out these questions. I
want you to just do. I just want you to do what you always do. We're all accustomed to it now. Mark your calendars. Every 4 weeks, it's suspect time with Sir Lucius. Yeah, we're good.
Oh my
Hey, that's a segment
God.
right there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a real segment.
Stop it.
Yeah.
All
This
right,
week we
are you
have
ready, sir?
Suspect with Sir Lucius.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
See? You know, hey, we need
Okay.
Samuel to say that though. With a little,
little umph in his voice.
with a little
All right.
because you know he can do that. He can do that.
Right? Exactly. All right. Would you rather have a flight delayed 8 hours or lose your luggage?
You're
I feel like he's had both this year.
you were exact. Like I definitely had the lost luggage, and the
Yeah.
flight was like 4 hours delayed, but
See,
I
which
didn't enjoy either
evil?
one of them.
Which
I think
evil?
I think the delayed flight is better because at least when I got there, I would have my back.
100%.
The delayed flight.
You'd have your toothbrush.
I can entertain myself.
We
in the
can
airport.
figure it out. Yes.
Not having your luggage makes you feel like you got robbed.
Yes.
Exactly. It sure does.
Okay. Good answer. Would you rather have Rambo or the Terminator defending you?
Oh.
I want the Terminator because you know he's got stuff coming out of his eyes.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
you know. Yeah,
Good
you can't kill the Terminator. You got to find some very creative ways to get. Rambo's a man; he can get gone. The Terminator's a machine. So yeah, I want the Terminator.
All right. Would you rather be a bench player on a championship team or a starter on a mediocre team?
You're not funny at all. First of all, you know I'm all about the championship, and I'm gonna be on the bench. And as long as I'm playing a role, if I'm just sitting on the bench doing nothing, no. But if I'm a bench player, which means I get in the game and I can contribute, I'm all about the championship.
So you'd rather be Andre Iguodala than Dame Dollar, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Me too.
And because Andre has some skills. He did.
All right. Would you rather say everything on your mind or have to swallow every thought?
We know this.
Everything on my mind. I'm not swallowing anything.
I would give, let me say something.
No.
I would give at least half a year's salary for Sir Lucius to have to say everything that was on his mind out loud just for 1 month.
Oh my goodness.
Like treat him like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. He had to tell the truth for a whole month.
It was me.
Yep.
The pen is. All right. Would you rather live where it rains most days or not at all?
He lives where it rains most days.
Mm-hmm.
I just say it because of what's going on right now.
The rain doesn't bother me. You know, the rain's good for us, so I don't mind living where I live. So,
all right, this one's funny to me, and you may not even be able to answer this. Would you rather do 3rd grade homework or a travel reimbursement?
Oh, wait, repeat that?
Oh.
Would you rather do 3rd grade homework or a travel reimbursement?
Who picked this
oh,
one?
the travel reimbursement. I mean, that's easy. I've been doing those for 20. I've been doing those 30 years. Those are easy.
Boy, stop that!
And actually,
done a travel reimbursement in 20 years. You a lie?
No. I haven't done one in since my
Peggy's been doing those travel reimbursements.
Peggy, get him, Peggy.
Actually, it was Therese.
It was Therese.
But no, I mean, that used to be my job. The travel reimbursements for like the whole squad. So just out of memory, I can do that. I don't know what's coming at me with the third grade homework.
So wait a minute. The last time that was your job was 1990 what?
Oh gosh.
2003.
2003.
Okay.
Hey, muscle memory, dog.
I love it. I love it. All right, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I'm laughing because I thought you had another one come out.
No, she went out of her way to be nice. And it was still a little suspect at times. Mines are way harder than you guys. I don't know why that is.
Those wheels are spinning over there, man.
Okay. Sir Lucius, would you rather only speak another language that none of your athletes spoke and have to coach them that way, or not be able to speak at all and only use hand signs to coach your athletes?
Hand signs. Hand signs.
You're not here for the French?
Because here's the thing. You do understand that in both scenarios, I'm using my hands.
Oh no. In Europe, they just yell louder in another language.
Yeah, but that's them. But if it's me, I'm going to be speaking French using my hands and try to explain it. You know? When Laji Jacour and Renaud is his coach's name, they came here to train, and Laji was doing this drill, and they were trying to explain it to me. And Renaud actually speaks decent English, but when the other guy trying to explain it to me, he was literally putting his hands on Laji to teach me what they were doing, right? And I'm thinking to myself, just speak French to him and tell him what to do. Right. He's talking to him like he was talking to me. So it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Governor Clyde.
I don't have any would you rathers. If when the documentary of the Gator Dynasty is done, what should be the title?
Wow.
Ooh, that brings up a good question. Another question I want to ask. That's a good one, Clyde. I like that.
Pride, passion, preparation, people.
I was thinking count the rings.
The producer is going to ask you. The producer's going to ask you.
Count the rings is a better title too. It's a better title.
It is, but count the rings doesn't speak to me. The way
I think
those are my P's that I talk about a lot. So.
I think the governor's right. The producer's going to ask you to drop one of those P's off. You only get 3.
The EP is going to ask for you to keep it at 3, so it's catchy.
Not this EP, that EP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to put 4 anyway. So.
Because he's going to do what he wants to do.
Let's count the rings.
I did it my way. Is that better? I don't know.
Oh
now, hey, wow. That's a good one.
Okay.
All right. This one is like this one is actually more themed for what's coming up. Would you rather spend a week in a forest or a night in a real haunted house?
Oh God.
Who are you?
I love that one.
Okay, see, he's not funny. Because we've had this discussion and he knows I don't do haunted houses. He knows and he knows there's no world where I'm spending the night in a forest either.
A week in the forest.
Yeah. A week in the forest or one night in a real haunted house.
Yes.
Haunted house. Not spend a week in the forest.
Oh, wow. I would take a week in the forest.
I'd
take a month in the forest. Over like real like ghosts and exorcisms.
I'll figure it out.
No, sir.
I'll take the haunted house in a heartbeat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do the house.
You're thinking a movie haunted house. He said a real haunted house.
I mean a real one.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of no ghosts.
Okay. Okay, so wait, in the documentary, Sir Lucius, who plays you?
Wow.
Can't be you. Can't be you.
Documentary.
It's a documentary. I have to play myself.
Hello, it's still not going to be him.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary. Of course, I'm playing myself.
I didn't say a mockumentary.
I'm going to say again, he can't play himself. I said that. It ain't going to be him. So who's it going to be?
Oh, so you're not allowing me to play myself?
No,
How
you're
about
not
this?
allowed to play it. No.
In the movie. Now, it's not a documentary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's
Wow, you
better.
know, he almost
It'll
gave me
be
the screen.
a
You see
movie
that?
based on it'll be a movie based on real accounts.
He almost came through the movie. He almost through
in
the
the
screen
in
like
the
a-
E True Hollywood story.
Right?
Okay.
It'll be
Okay. So who plays me in a movie? Oh, MJ.
I was wondering. I was like, duh.
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah, MJ.
You
Easy.
see what he did there? He went the
He
50
did.
Cent route.
He did.
That's
Which
funny.
So does
Oh, trust me. If anybody can play me, that who can play me.
so
The next
does
time,
the,
the next time he's with you, EP, ask him to do a couple of imitations. So he's got it there.
So this is the last one before we go out. Does the scene of the greatest, one of the greatest pick-me-up speeches, if you're going to be X, be the best you can be, does that speech make the documentary?
If I'm the executive producer,
100%.
100%.
See, you and that memory of yours. See, that's twice tonight. You got me. Because you know good and well, I'm not going to no haunted house. How are you the one who said that? Because you know better.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
you
god.
forget anything?
Oh man.
No.
Do you forget anything, sir?
No, not really, no.
Clearly you don't.
You know the best part, Kareem, like the best part of the movie, the behind the scenes, right? Is Actor Mouse is gonna be mic'd up for one of his mouth to ear talks walking around the track that nobody knows what Mouse is saying to people.
Yep.
We're gonna get a behind the scenes one time of what he actually says.
We've got to get the camera in the warm-up room where he was going to go with it at Pat. We got to get that in the movie too.
Oh, no question.
Wait,
then I get to make a
Who
cameo.
plays Pat? I want to know.
Those there. See, now you got Hugo. You got Hugo.
And you better believe that in the movie, not only is he going to throw the stopwatch into the parking lot of Sacramento, we're gonna find out who found it
And ask for it signed.
Oh man.
All right. Well, this was a very, I think I say this almost every other episode. That was a very entertaining episode. And so,
It was.
thank you again to Mr. Bracey. That was fun. You made it worth the wait. Thank you for doing that. And as always, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your input. Real quick, we're not going to do heartbeat props because it's getting late, but
You figured it out.
Micah. Micah, happy birthday, sir. You are
Happy
getting
birthday.
older, and glad to see you have another birthday. But
Happy
other than
birthday.
that,
Micah.
everyone have a great week, and we'll see each other again soon. Bye, everyone.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin 'em hard, knock 'em off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics LLC, there's no others. Track and field's place and we'll peel to go further. Hey, Wally, Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and failed and sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.